Explore the comprehensive guide to implementing Azure Point-to-Site VPN, covering design, setup, deployment, and troubleshooting. Our video roadmap outlines the 5 key stages: design, build, configure, deploy, and operate, ensuring a structured approach. Azure Point-to-Site VPN offers secure remote access, private Azure workload access, identity-driven authentication, and phased migration support. The reference architecture includes a remote user client, VPN gateway, and hub-spoke network, ensuring secure and efficient connectivity. Key design decisions involve choosing protocols, authentication methods, gateway SKUs, address pools, routing, and access control. Before starting, ensure you have the necessary Azure subscriptions, existing or new Hub VNet, Gateway Subnet, DNS plan, and client rollout plan. Follow the implementation sequence. Plan CIDRs, create gateway, configure P2S, download profile, deploy client, and test access. Plan network ranges carefully to avoid overlap, including Hub VNet, Spoke VNet, P2S client pool, and route expectations. Create or validate the gateway subnet by opening the Hub VNet, adding the subnet, ensuring adequate size, and avoiding NSG mistakes. Create the virtual network gateway by selecting the resource type, gateway type, SKU, public IP, and planning deployment time. Use CLI for repeatable gateway creation by updating names and ranges for your environment. Configure point-to-site settings by opening VPN gateway, entering address pool, selecting tunnel type, authentication type, and saving configuration. Use Entra ID fields for P2S, including tenant, audience, issuer, and formatting importance. Restrict VPN access by creating a security group, assigning users, using conditional access, and documenting emergency access. Download the VPN client profile by accessing P2S configuration, extracting the package, storing securely, and versioning the profile. Install Azure VPN Client for Windows, Mac OS, Linux, and plan Enterprise rollout for app deployment and compliance access. Import and connect using Azure VPN Client by verifying connection name, signing in, and connecting. Validate on a Windows client using basic test commands like ipconfig, rootprint, and checking Azure VPN Client logs. Design DNS for Azure P2S VPN by defining DNS servers, private DNS zones, conditional forwarding, and testing by name and IP. Routing and access controls involve VNet peering, UDRs, NSGs, firewall rules, and least privilege access. Begin your operations with robust monitoring and logging from the start. Utilize Azure Monitor to enable diagnostic settings for VPN gateways. Log Analytics will centralize your gateway logs, while Entra sign-in logs help you review authentication failures and conditional access outcomes. Finally, the Help Desk dashboard will track connected users and recurring error messages. When troubleshooting, use this matrix to quickly identify and resolve issues. For instance, if you cannot sign in, check Entra ID and conditional access policy. If connection fails, verify client profile settings. For no connectivity, inspect routers and firewalls. DNS issues can affect IP operations, and freezing shares may require checking SMB path dependencies. Lastly, compare user group policies for access issues. Implement a phased deployment plan to ensure a smooth rollout. Start with IT only to test admin access and documentation, then move to Wave 1, involving power users from various departments. Expand further in Wave 2 with department-wide rollout and issue tracking. Finally, transition to Wave 3, focusing on standard operating mode with ongoing reporting and access review. Before proceeding with the production cutover, ensure all configurations are saved and client packages are tested. Verify that critical apps are validated and support processes are ready. Finally, confirm that all security controls are approved, including MFA and access review processes. To ensure a successful P2S project, Avoid overlapping address pools and using the wrong authentication protocol. Be clear about audience value and do not ignore DNS configurations. Lastly, ensure operational monitoring is in place to prevent troubleshooting from becoming guesswork. This implementation runbook outlines the steps for a successful deployment. Start by designing the network, DNS, and access policy. Build or validate your VPN gateway. Configure P2S with OpenVPN, and deploy the Azure VPN client profile. Finally, test, monitor, and operationalize to ensure everything runs smoothly. For further guidance, refer to Microsoft documentation on Azure Point-to-Site VPN, configuring P2S, VPN Gateway, Azure VPN, client for Windows, and certificate authentication. These resources provide essential concepts and support for your implementation.